Come on in, you guys. It's day number 137 of my 365-day Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. If you're brand new to this, I have been getting into an ice bath, that one right there, all year long. And my purpose of doing that is to make myself cold. And so I've been getting into a cold ice bath every single day here in 2022 and made it my challenge all year long to get into a 32-degree temperature ice bath for 5 minutes a day. Well, I have a problem, you guys. Number one, welcome. I did decide to go live with this here today. I just wanted to go live, so I'm glad that you guys are here. Thanks for hanging out. So my Morozko Forge has been on the blitz for the last week or so. I got back from vacation and the filtration system stopped working, and I had issues with one of the pipes on the inside was broken off. I was also leaking water. So I had a lot of issues, you guys. So the guy came and fixed it today. It's got a brand new little part down there. You can see all the bubbles coming up from that. He cleaned out the filtration system. He put in this new button which does the filtration system. It used to be really loud, and it's not loud anymore. And so it's kind of cool. The problem is it's not 32 degrees. The coldest it could get to, it's in the upper 40s right now. So instead of doing 5 minutes in an ice bath, I figured I needed to do a little bit longer because it's only 40-something degrees. Now, I will tell you, earlier today, I decided to pop into the Morozko Forge. I wasn't feeling real great. I've got a lot of things on me right now. And so whenever that's happening, I get into cold therapy. So I've already done about a 7 to 10 minute session. I didn't really time it. I've already done one session in there already. I think I could probably do 20 minutes in there if I wanted to. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put 20 minutes on the clock, and then once I get in there, it's not real bad to acclimate to that temperature. It's still very cold, don't get me wrong. If you've never done 45 degrees Fahrenheit, it's still pretty intense. But when you're used to doing 32, I want to tell you what it feels like, the difference between 32 degrees and 45 degrees, because it is a very clear difference. Both are cold, but there are clear differences, and I'll articulate some of those while I'm in there. But yes, if you're joining live, I decided to surprise you guys today and come on live, so thanks for being here. Gonna set you guys down, and as always, I will be talking to you when we're done here. And yeah, so we'll get in there, let you see all the action. I'll talk to you when I'm in there. 20 minutes are on the clock again, 45 degrees Fahrenheit today. And here we go. Still very cold. Oh yeah, very cold. Very cold. No ice today. .45 still takes your breath away. So I'm right about a minute in, and I'm pretty well acclimated breathing wise. I'm still kind of having a little bit of a need to breathe a little more, but generally in the 32 degrees Fahrenheit, it takes me a good almost 2 full minutes before I can catch my breath. So that's a big difference there. And yes, don't adjust your screen if you just got here and you're like, wait a minute, Jimmy's gone in the month of May. Yes, I usually have been. I decided to surprise you guys today. I had my Morozko Forge worked on, and they got all the everything working again. It's no longer leaking. The filtration system's working again. He fixed a pipe. There were several little maintenance things he did to it. and got it up and running. The problem is, because it was unplugged for so long while he was working on it, it got too warm. I think it got up to like 63 degrees, and I turned on the coolness, and it only got down into like the mid to upper 40s, which is what it is right now. Still very cold, still getting great benefits from doing this as cold therapy. It's just not that real intense that Jimmy is used to at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's okay. A lot of people have had questions of, well, what's the difference? Can I do like 70 degrees and get benefit? I'm like, yeah. Like I hate the notion that people feel like that they have to go colder faster than they need to. I've been very deliberate in telling people go down in the temperature slowly at your pace so that it's uncomfortable but doable. And so if that means 70 degrees Fahrenheit cold shower, yeah, that's what you do. If that means you can handle a 45 degree ice bath like what I'm in now, yeah, that's what you do. I feel like we need to stop putting parameters on it. There is not a prescriptiveness to it, and I liken it to where people say, well, how long should I fast? What's the best length of time for me to fast? And I'm like, I don't know. And like, what are my macronutrient ratios to be keto? I'm like, I don't know. Like, you're gonna have to figure those things out. And ice bath is no different. Figure out where your starting point is, and then go from there. And of course, with the cold, you've got an acclimation period. You don't want to just jump right into super duper dippity cold, and you're not ready for that. So those of you coming in late, I am in my Morozko Forge. Yes, I'm live, so welcome. And I wanted to get in here because the Morozko is not at 32 degrees Fahrenheit like it normally is. There's no ice in here right now, and it's because I had the unit worked on earlier, and it's just now getting cooler again into the mid to upper 40s right now as the temperature. So a little more tolerable for Jimmy than the 32. Tolerable though, I would say I'm being challenged right now. Usually I will have pushed my hands out of the water. I would not still have them submerged, but right now my hands, they're getting kind of chilly. I'm probably going to go ahead and lift them now. So that's a difference between the 32 and the 45. 45 is still very cold though. And I like it. I mean, it's a refreshing cold for me, especially having done 32 for so many times. I know what that feels like abundantly. I know what that feels like. This is actually kind of pleasant for me, having done regular 32 degree Fahrenheit. Now to be in like 45 degrees. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of eating this up. This is definitely one of those temperatures that if I wanted to do a, relaxing, just chilling out in water for a little while, this would be the temperature I could easily do it in and still get the benefits of cold. Because look, as much as it's impressive to do 32 degrees, you don't have to go that cold. A lot of the studies that I've been looking up and researching for my book, Cold Therapy Clarity, a lot of the studies, their idea of cold at the minimum, at the bottom end of the temperature, their idea of cold is 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And they see the benefits that they get from doing that. So I never want anybody to have the idea that 32 is the goal, 45 is the goal. There's really no goal outside of what you believe you can do that is uncomfortable and yet doable. I would say that this is slightly uncomfortable for me, slightly. Only because I am feeling the effects of that intensity of the cold. I've had to lift my hands out of the water. I'm feeling the numbness a bit in the fingertips from having done this. So that would be my main thing for you is don't think you've got to go super duper cold in the water to get all the benefits. No, you'll get benefits at 55 degrees, at 65 degrees. Start where you can. I'm amazed how many people still write on all my ice bath videos, even though I feel like I've articulated this clearly, early, and often. But I'll still get people that go, do I have to start in the ice? And I'm like, no. And actually, my plan is for you not to start in ice. My plan is, after you do a hot shower, get into warm shower. Turn it down to warm. That's it. That's how you start. You get going, and you allow your body to get acclimated. Just like the first day in the gym, I don't want you to bench press 150 pounds. Maybe you can do it, maybe you can, but most likely you can't. I want you to start with just the bar. And so if you can master the bar and get form down and get everything good, then you can start adding plates to it and add weight to it. Until that happens, until you get acclimated physically to the lifting, you don't add more weight. Same with the cold. Until you can get acclimated to whatever it is that's uncomfortable but doable, you don't progress to the next level. So those of you that came in late, welcome, welcome. I did decide to go live today to surprise you guys. My Morozko Forge had to be worked on, and normally it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but because of all the work they had to do on it, it's now in tip-top shape. It's filtrating really good again. It had a busted pipe. It's fixed. It was leaking. That's fixed. So all the things are fixed. Unfortunately, by the time I needed to go and do the video, it's only in the mid to upper 40s right now for the temperature. So Jimmy decided to go live. We're right at, hard for me to see. I've been in here just over 9 minutes now, in 40 something degrees. I think it's like 45, 46 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's good. I don't know if I'll go the full 20. I did 10 minutes earlier, like 7 to 10 minutes. I didn't really measure earlier. I didn't time myself. But like I mentioned in yesterday's video, it's good to microdose cold therapy. If at some time during the day you're not feeling great, you're a little anxious, you've got things going on mentally, then pop into cold. And if you don't have something like this to pop into, rub your face with cold water, put the cold water behind your head, rub your neck with it, take an ice cube, all the things. Give yourself a little bit of a dose of cold to revive you, and it works. It's really nice. So I haven't gone live in, well, the whole month, basically. So in the just over 2 weeks that I've been gone, I've had a lot of things happening in my life, personally, and tragedies in family in terms of sickness coming on. And then, like, I've been having a little bit of thoughts lately about who I am in the health space anymore. And I mentioned that in a couple of posts today. So yeah, I got a lot going on up here in the brain right now. That's good stuff. I don't want you guys to think I'm in any kind of distress or anything, because I'm not. It's just the more I've been able to think, the more my brain is moving in directions of where I think I should be going. And this is a good thing. Again, I'm going to blame the sabbatical from 2.5 years ago. When I went away for 6 months on a complete sabbatical away from all my work, I had some huge revelations happen in the midst of that. And a lot of turmoil in my personal life happened in the midst of that. And it made me appreciate the time away and the thinking time. And so the fact that I'm away from all my work, yes, I'm still writing on a book and still doing things here and there, I am away from my work, and so it's giving me that extra time to think, and we kind of need that from time to time. For me, it's kind of evaluating what is my role in this world? What is my role in this community? And I'm having some very real thoughts, and there's nothing wrong with expressing those. I don't think people realize how difficult it is to be in the diet space as someone who is bigger. The judgmentalness, the watching other influencers mock people in that situation, the dogma of people expecting you to follow rigidness about diet. I've gotten to the point where I can't consciously be a part of a community like that anymore. And not that I feel like I've ever done that in my work. I have not. And not that I feel like, and I'm definitely not quitting. I'm still going to eat carnivore and keto, so it's not even about that. It's just, I feel like my energy needs to be poured into things that are much more relevant. And not that I'm saying diet's not relevant, but I feel like I have gifts and talents to communicate through spoken word, through written word, in much more powerful ways. And I honestly, this is just me speaking out loud, just thinking out loud here. I feel like I've been taken for granted that, oh, Jimmy will always be there, his podcast will always be there, he'll never go away. And I don't like that. I don't like the presumption that what I've always done will be what will always be. And honestly, I'm feeling pulled more to be more in kind of helping people with mindset and helping people see the connection between their mental health and their physical health. And as you guys know, I talk a lot about trauma. Those are the things that get me jazzed now. Those are the things that keto used to tickle my fancy with. And I don't get that same feeling from keto anymore. Keto has become such a blasé term that everybody and their mama uses now. You got to remember, 10 years ago, I was testing nutritional ketosis, and keto was the pariah. Keto was the thing, oh, nobody wants to talk about, oh, what is that, and it was totally rejected. And yet, there I was persistently talking about it. After talking about low-carb diets at that point for 7 years, then I started talking about keto, and I'm very proud of my contribution in the keto world. Like, I feel like I poured my heart and soul into not just my own work and the things that I shared through books and podcasts. I helped so many people get books, and so many people I was advisor for them on their books, on creating their podcasts. And I'm at the point where I feel like I sacrificed a lot of myself for these other people. And to what end? What happened? Like, what did that do? Yes, I will always be a giving person. I will always do things for others. It's the nature of who I am. But I feel somewhat taken advantage of. That when I've served my purpose, they moved on. And I feel like the keto community, not you guys, not the people in it, but kind of just the core of what makes up the community. It's so jaded, it's so disjointed. There's this person over here doing this thing, this person over here doing this thing. We all have the same message. We could easily work together and be a much more powerful voice. But it seemed like people were more interested in creating a fame with keto rather than promoting the message, rather than making it something that was my dream from the start. Back in 2005, when I first started blogging, my dream was, hey, let's collectively get together and let's impact the culture. And thankfully we did. The problem is the road to getting to that culture change is you got a lot of shysters. You got a lot of people only in it for the money. You got a lot of people that they will talk about keto as long as it's expedient to them, and then they bolt. And a lot of people that are only in it for themselves. My heart's never been selfish. I've always been a giver. I've always given. I've always helped. I've always done my part. A lot of the people in the space, their very first exposure to the keto world, the low carb world, was my podcast. And I'm not feeling the love. That's just honestly how I feel. And so I'm in this transition period where I'm not interested in the nutritional health part of things as much as I used to be. Doesn't mean I can't wax eloquently about keto or cholesterol or fasting or all the things that I talk about. I just feel like all of those things are what I did do. And what I am gonna do, I feel, is much bigger, has a bigger purpose, has more meaning. Even these ice baths have been wonderful because it's not nutrition. It's something that impacts your health, but it's not nutrition. It impacts mental health, it impacts sleep, it impacts, yes, your metabolic health, but not because of the food consumed or not consumed. So I love this kind of thing, and this is the kind of thing I won't stop talking about. And then a lot of the mindset things, I feel like the pandemic brought on a lot of negative mental energy. And one of my gifts of writing is I'm an encourager, I'm a motivator, and I know how to write in a way that inspires people. And I've even heard from a lot of you guys telling me that I've written something that inspired you and you're just like, whoa, I didn't even think of it that way, and it opened your eyes. And the more that I saw that kind of reaction to those kinds of posts, it's dawning on me. That's what I need to be doing. That's my calling, that's my gift. And I've done this nutritional health space for so long, it's somewhat become an identity. I don't think it's my full identity, but it's an identity, and I'm running out of time. Let me go under the water. We'll continue this conversation when I start walking. It might be 45, but that still feels good. I love dunking my head. That is so great. So those of you that came in late, do not adjust your screen. Jimmy Moore is here. I decided to come back from my time away. I've been doing these off camera, or on camera, but offline. Since I've been away in the month of May. But today I had to come on here. Number one, because the Morozko Forge, that was 20 minutes, by the way, in 45 degree Fahrenheit temperature. And that was great. And that's after doing 10 minutes a little bit earlier today in there. So I got 30 minutes of cold therapy today, baby. But I also wanted to come on here because I have been talking very openly in some posts about where my heart is and where I've been and where I think I'm going. I just feel like the diet world has become so incredibly, unbelievably toxic. And I don't care if you're talking about vegan, paleo, keto, carnivore, it's toxic. And look, if you're in those spaces and you enjoy certain personalities and people in it, please do not be discouraged by what I'm saying. But I look at some of the content that's out there now, and I just cringe. I cringe when I see certain big name influencers mocking people who have weight on their body. I cringe when I see the kinds of things being promoted to people that they need to do for health. I cringe at the dogma that the diet world has become. And look, that's not new. I've noticed it for a little while. But it seems to be a lot more prevalent and a lot more accepted. Used to, there would be dogma and people would be like, yeah, don't be so hard-nosed. Now it's like, here's my dogma. And there's a lot of, yeah, me too, in the comments. And then the next person puts their dogma out there. Oh, if you want to do this, here's how you do it. Yeah, me too. And it just, I want no part of that anymore. That's not my heart. That's never been what I've been about. And a lot of people say, well, just do your thing and ignore that. No. I'm guilty by association if I say nothing about those things. I might not have the body that says that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to nutrition, and I understand why people believe those things. But I know a lot about nutrition, and a lot of the shit that's out there is bullshit. Just gonna say, it's bullshit. It's horrible. Nope, does not need to be out there. But it's out there. And so me being in a community that allows that kind of stuff, and there's this unspoken rule that you shouldn't call people out when they say stupid stuff. Well, if that's the rule, then I want no part of that, honestly. And then let's talk about the elephant in the room, and it's my body. I don't think people realize the tremendous pressure that is there for someone in the diet space to be thin. It's something that I have battled my entire career online. Even after I lost the initial 180 pounds on the Atkins diet in 2004, I remember I started blogging and I'd post pictures and things, and there would be people even then, even after losing 180 pounds, even then, that would say, yeah, but you need to lose probably another 45, 50 pounds. And so there was this constant drumbeat that, oh yeah, you've done that, but it's not good enough. And it's just continued for my entire career. Now look, you guys know I have fun with that stuff when people try to bring up that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I am very human, and I do have a very empathetic heart. And I just don't want to be abused anymore, honestly. And if it's all about me being in the diet space that's brought on all of this abuse, then I'll just leave the diet space. That's how I feel. I don't need the diet space. I don't. I don't need the scrutiny that I have gotten. And when I say this, I mean it literally. Daily. For almost 20 years. I don't deserve that. My heart is for helping people and showing kindness and love and compassion for others. That's always been my heart. And the thanks I get is, All right, fat asshole, why don't you go on a vegan diet? I don't deserve that, and quite frankly, I won't put up with it. And if it means I leave the diet space, still talk about health. I can still talk about, listen, health is not just your diet. And this is what I don't like about the community too. We put so much emphasis on nutrition, and we totally ignore all the other things. And yes, there's some wonderful people out there that talk about the other things, little things here and there. But I almost wish I was a sleep influencer, or I was a cold influencer, or something that didn't have anything to do with your diet. It doesn't mean that you don't eat well and you eat a crappy diet. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I feel like we put so much of the emphasis on diet when it comes to what your weight should be, diet meaning something about your health, that we forget about all these other practices. And quite frankly, I'm much more interested in those practices. I'm much more interested in what's happening up here and how you can influence how you feel and actually influence your physical health with your mind, with your mindset, with the beliefs, with the dealing with the traumas you dealt with in your life. I get mocked quite a bit online about, oh, everything wrong in your life is childhood trauma now, huh, Jimmy? And it's like, yeah, sure the hell is. Contributing factor anyway. And if we don't acknowledge that, and if we don't talk about mental health as a part of total health, if nothing else, I feel like my time in the diet community has taught me abundantly that the physical health people, the people that push just physical health, they're only going to get to a certain point with most people. If your sole goal with people is work out harder, eat better, all these physical health things, at some point you're going to get stuck helping a client, helping a patient, helping someone that you're trying to get into better habits. And I will forever say that nutrition is the foundation for your health. I still believe that. I really do. Getting some kind of a healthy nutritional plan that's right for you. But it's not the final nail in the coffin. You have to implement so many other things. You guys have watched me over the years implement all these things. Currently, it's ice baths. I've done all kinds of things. Well, in the fall, you guys saw with the Sabbatical to 50 thing that I did a series of biohacks, from sauna to cold to red light therapy to sunshine exposure to grounding to regular exercise. I did all these things. And the diet world mocked me for it. The diet world said, oh, well, you did all those things, you should have lost weight, and so you must have been cheating. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, you judgmental assholes. The diet world sucks. And I'm just over it. And I'm sorry to be so blunt. But in other ways, I'm not sorry that I'm being blunt. This stuff needs to be said. And this is not new. This has been building for many years. My frustration with the nutritional health community has been something that I have allowed, and it's high time I cut ties. It's high time that I move on. If that's the state of where things are in the nutritional health space, then I have no place in that space anymore. And I'm okay walking away. I will happily walk away from the nutritional health space. Does that mean I'm walking away from my work online? Hell no, I'm not going anywhere. Like, let's not kid ourselves. I know the value of my voice. So many of you guys have told me that please don't leave, we need your voice. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not interested in talking about health. Oh, one of my birds has a hold of some food in her mouth, and they're all chasing her. Sorry, that caught my attention. What are y'all eating? I think they might have got a hold of one of the eggs because it looked like it was an eggshell. Anyway, I'm not going anywhere. I feel like my work in the nutritional health space was merely laying the groundwork for the bigger work that I was always intended to do. I believe that. I believe I was meant for bigger things than even right now I can imagine. Because I know how to write, and I know how to speak, and I know how to communicate. And yes, I can wax eloquently all about the things regarding diet. But I feel like I have deeper meaning that needs to be shared. And keeping myself in the box of having to talk about diet because I've had a few best-selling books in it. I've held on for too long. I feel like I'm that person that's in a broken relationship and you hang on. And why do you hang on? You hang on because of the familiar. It's so familiar. You can't imagine not doing what you've always done because it's so familiar. But there comes a point where you know you need to move on, and you know it's not working anymore for you in terms of that relationship. You're pouring your heart into it, and you're not getting anything back. And that's where I feel right now with the diet world, specifically the keto world. I feel like I poured my heart into it, and I have. I feel like I have contributed greatly to it as a longtime advocate for low carb, and then helping start and be one of the originals talking about keto. And I'll forever be grateful for Keto Clarity. That was the very first major title release that ever had the word keto in it. Came from me. Fat asshole who should go vegan. Came from me. I think what I'm saying here today is it's time to move on. It's time to stop denying the obvious. And the obvious is I served my purpose in the diet world. And it's time to go make a difference in another world. And that's the exciting part. I know this has been kind of a downer tone today, but I want to express my exuberance for what's to come, because I feel like my voice will be used for something much bigger than keto. Keto is great. Still love keto. Still love carnivore. Still gonna eat that way. But my voice should be used for bigger things. And it will be. Still kind of evaluating what that will be at the moment. I'm not sure what it's gonna look like. All I know is I can't be associated any longer with the dogma, with the judgment, And so if I remove myself from the diet world, I know it won't take away the criticism, because the criticism will always be there no matter what you're doing. But now I can say, hey, look, I don't talk about diet anymore. What are you talking about? When they bring up my weight. And quite frankly, I've even thought about this for many years. I wonder how much of my continued weight issues has to do with all the stress of having to deal with all the criticism all the time on a consistent basis. I mean, if you think about it in those terms, I never get a break. My sympathetic nervous system is on overdrive all the time. You know, and people say, well, ignore it. Yeah, fuck you. You can't ignore what you see. It's like, it's there. But if I remove myself from that community and, okay, it's not about diet anymore. I don't talk about diet. Ice baths, yeah, we'll talk about that. Walking in the sun, beautiful, love it. Talk about that. Which, by the way, there's my, you might not be able to see it, but I've got some major bruising from the massage the other day. Whew. I wonder how much of a difference it'll make once I stop being a diet influencer and start talking about mindset, trauma, emotional health. Those things, those people in those communities don't get judged for how they look. Why do they pull that shit in the diet world? And yes, I am walking in a circle in my backyard. I didn't feel like putting on a shirt today. But this was an impromptu live, so this is the way I've been doing it while I've been away. So, all right, I want to see what you guys have to say. I'm going to scroll all the way back, see who all got here today. Won't scream out all your names. Boca Paz says, awesome job so far. Thank you. What's the benefits of ice baths, says Mickey. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you're on my, hey, Mickey. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm an 80s kid. I'm going to remember that song forever. I mean, there are so many benefits to ice baths, and if you keep watching my videos, I post them all on YouTube, all on Instagram, all on Facebook. Just type in a keyword, hashtag Jimmy Ice, and you'll see all my videos. I even make little short videos, reels here on Instagram, which also get posted to those other sites, where I talk all about the benefits. I can't possibly regurgitate 137 days worth of content, but let's just say lots of physical benefits, lots of mental benefits. I talk about it quite often in my work, so stick around. Thanks for being here. 20 minutes at 50 degrees is my sweet spot lately. Oh, that's cool, Courtney. Yeah, I did 45, just a little over the 45 degrees Fahrenheit today. I did a 10-minute sesh earlier, and then today on camera did 20 minutes with you guys. I like that temperature, but I miss 32. 32 scares me a little more, and that's great. Like, you want to do a level of cold that somewhat strikes fear in you. You know, people, they make up fear about what they think it will be, but they don't really go cold enough to scare themselves. But I do with 32. It's pretty intense. David said live. Yes, we're live. We are live today. Decided to surprise you guys. I got a lot going on in my head today. And the Morozko was not 32, so I had to go more than 5 minutes. I thought, you know what? I'm going to be in there 20 minutes. I want to talk and talk freely, and then talk to you guys after, which is what I've been doing out here walking in my backyard. Victoria says, wow, what luck to catch you live. I was not expecting you till June. Yeah, I wanted to do this today because I got a lot of heaviness in my mind right now about where I'm heading next in my work. And I just felt like that's unfair to not talk to you guys a little bit. I was even considering doing a walk and talk talking about this topic, but I thought, you know what, we'll just go on the ice bath and jibber jabber with them there. Sharon says, live today, yay. Macca gave me some cheers. I could use some wine right now. So. Victoria says, do you think you might stay at the higher temperature going forward? Oh no, I miss 32 degrees. Look, I can feel the difference between that 45, 46 that I was just in for 20 minutes and a 5 minutes in 32. 5 minutes in 32, I feel more invigorated. And it's more my speed. Did I get no benefits being in 45 degrees for 20 minutes? Hell no, I got great benefits. But I prefer that colder. I prefer having all that ice around me. There's just a mental advantage in my mind for me personally, because I've acclimated to this for so long, for me to go that cold. So as soon as it can get that cold again, I will be doing that cold again. Bulletproof says, Jimmy ain't going high temperature. He loves the cold. Yes, exactly. You know me well, Bulletproof. Kathy says, I love the direction you're going. How exciting. I'm of the same mind. It's a shame that so many good people in the keto and carnivore space, so many good people are being led to flee. And I guess we all have our own reasons for it. But the fact that we even have to consider leaving means there's certain needs not being met. It's very similar to a marriage where one side feels like they're pouring in and giving and giving and giving, and the other side's taking and taking and taking, but not giving back. And that's how I feel in the diet space right now. I have given, and I'm somebody that puts out a lot of content between all the podcasts that I do and all the social media posts that I do and all the books that I write. I'm probably one of the more prolific people in the space. And at some point, you got to feel a little bit of love, a little bit of respect, a little bit of reciprocation. And if I'm being super honest, I haven't actually been invited and allowed to speak at conferences. There's been several keto conferences this year that have taken place, and I wasn't even told about them to attend, much less be a speaker. And not that I feel like I deserve to be a speaker. Nobody deserves. If they feel like there's better speakers, go get the better speakers. But don't even like, hey, we'd love to have you attend. We don't have a speaking spot. We'd love to have you attend. Da, 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 da. I don't know. It just, that rubs me the wrong way. It's almost like I'm the unwanted stepchild of the space now. Are they ashamed of me? How does my brain not go there? Feels that way. I can't imagine what it's been like, says Dr. Remka, as an aging woman in the space without any plastic surgery. Well, Stephanie, you look amazing, my darling, and you know it. And you do all the things to keep yourself looking that way. But you're right. It is sad that the expectation is that you have to keep up some image. It's so funny to me because, no, I don't have a body that people would say, ooh, that's hot, that's sexy, that's whatever. But I'm healthy. And it also assumes that because I have this body, whatever is spoken out of my mouth is garbage. Well, that's nonsense. I would argue that I probably have more knowledge in this community, having done it and having been in the interview space for so long. I probably have more knowledge than a lot of people with a lot more followers and who espouse things out there. And I don't say that braggadociously. I'm just like, look, there's a lot of Johnny-come-latelys that you could tell they got into the space simply because it was popular. And I was here long before all you people like that. I was. Mickey says, I appreciate you, learned a lot from you. Thank you. And look, I don't want to diminish the people who have been influenced by my work positively. And I know I've written some books that have helped change people's lives, and I've done podcast interviews. Literally, if you name a person in the world of health, they have been on my podcast. 1,800 something episodes. And the Living La Vida Low Carb Show is still one of the top ranked health podcasts out there. And I'm debating what to do with that show. Because if I'm moving on from the diet world, that means Living La Vida Low Carb Show needs to go. And that's hard for me to fathom that I would let that go. Obviously, it would be rebranded into something else, but I feel like it served its purpose. But the diet world has not been kind to me. Nope. You don't deserve daily disrespect, says Kathy. Thank you. And yet I've taken it. And for the longest time, I was like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take one for the team. It'll be my badge of honor. I'm the fat guy in keto. What's amazing about some of that criticism is it assumes, sorry, I got a rock in my shoe suddenly. Rock in my croc. What's amazing is the assumption that, again, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the information I share. And I hate that, because there's people that have abs and muscles. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But because of their abs and muscles, people believe them. Literally anything they say about diet or nutrition or fitness or anything, they believe them because of the body they have. And so the inverse of that is true in my case. Well, your body looks like that, therefore nothing you say has any value at all. That's the toxicity of the diet world. It's gross. It's just gross. It's disgusting. And I, for one, want no part of that. Melanie says, mind, cellular, mitochondrial health. Yeah, those are all huge parts of health. Yes, influenced a little bit by food, but a lot of things outside of food are a part of your health. And whatever I do next outside of the diet world, it will be related to mental health. It will be related to mindset, because those things are very, very important. And if we neglect those things, then shame on us. How do you claim to be about someone's health and you don't talk about mental health? You don't talk about trauma. You don't talk about mindset. Those, you guys, are just as important as the morsels of food that you put in your mouth. Gabby says, I understand the feeling, not only about weight, but as a woman with no plastic surgery. Yes. And look, I I hate there is this demand for perfection, demand for beauty, especially with you ladies. And with a guy, if you don't have six-pack abs, you're pretty much useless to the diet and health world. And that has never sat well with me. And for how many years of my career did I kill myself trying to get my weight down? Did I feel that pressure that I needed to work out hard to try to get those abs? And look, I have no animosity towards people that have that kind of body. What I have animosity towards is the notion that you need that kind of body to be valid. Screw you, I'm valid. I'm valid just the way I am. I don't need some prerequisite to tell me of my worth, of my value, of the contributions I make in this world of health. I'm valid just the way I am. Warts and all. In this case, gut and all. I am. And I will never apologize for who I am because of the way I look. Because my character is high, my integrity is high, my heart for people is high. Nothing else matters to me. Kathy says, so happy for you, enough is enough. Yeah, enough is long been enough. Just finally admitting it to myself. Tammy says, thankful for keto clarity. Thank you. Kathy says, you never get a break with your stress. Great point. Yeah. I mean, think about it from my perspective. I'm in this community that expects your body to be a certain way if you're going to talk about diet. And so when your body's not that certain way, there's scrutiny. And of course, you could be kicking yourself doing all the things. And I think you guys have watched me, those of you who are regulars, you've watched me do all kinds of things. On top of the keto and carnivore diet that I do as the basis, you've watched me do all kinds of things. I've fasted for extended periods of time, upwards of 21 days several times. I don't do that long anymore, but it shows you the lengths to which I was willing to try. And I'm doing the ice baths now, and I'm doing all kinds of things to move that needle. And for some reason, my body is not cooperating. And so then to have that followed up with all those things that I'm doing, actively working on myself, to have that followed up with, you must be sneaking donuts. Do you know how incredibly insulting that is to someone who is doing all the, quote, right things and the body's not cooperating, and then to have to put up with that simultaneously? Like, until you've experienced that for yourself, you don't know the special kind of stress that produces. You don't. And for me, leaving the diet world and no longer talking about diet as part of my work is a part of Jimmy's de-stress plan. Because I don't need that. I've never deserved it. I've never needed it. I've hung in there because I know a lot of people have appreciated my work and value what I've shared as far as nutrition, but it's not worth the arrows anymore. I would rather have people mock me for the cold therapy, shrinking my balls, or, whatever. That's cool. Let's talk about that stuff. But you will no longer have any right to judge me for my diet, because I won't be talking about it. Nope. Still talking about health. Not going anywhere. Not going anywhere when I talk about health. But if it's a nutrition component, I'm going to let somebody else take that. Somebody else take the arrows for that. Jimmy's done this too damn long and put up with far too much. And I'm not going to be abused anymore. Nancy says, I understand everything you're sharing. Yeah. That's one reason I wanted to come live today, is I feel like I'm not alone in this. I know there are other people feeling the exact same way. You feel like a second-class citizen. You feel like you're less than human. You're made to feel that way because you don't have that perfect body. I don't have the perfect body, but I've got the perfect heart. And I've got a mind that will run circles around most of the so-called people with the perfect body. I take pride in that. I do. Rousey says, I'm new. This bothers me. Yeah, and welcome. I'm glad you're here. And I'm sorry if it's a discouragement to you, but just know a lot of the people who are sharing information about diet out there, not all of them. There are some great people who I call friends who do some wonderful work. I think Ben Azadi at Keto Camp does a great job of sharing quality information. I think Temple Stewart, the ketogenic dietitian, she does a lot of wonderful infographics and reels and things like that. I'm going to insult a lot of friends by not saying their names, but those are two that came to mind immediately of you can trust what they have to share. And then there's others out there that I wouldn't trust them as far as I could spit. And all I can tell you is be discerning about who you allow in your feed. And if something doesn't seem right, if you see a influencer mocking someone because of the way they look, there's certain accounts that they're mocking vegans and how they look all the time. They're mocking fat people and how they look all the time. Oh my God, look how gross they are. And then all these people echoing those same comments down the comment section. I'm just, no. They're not a part of who Jimmy is. And so I'm removing myself from that. Nope. Give More Love says, I appreciated your podcast with Dr. Courtney Hunt. Yeah, Courtney's amazing. And yes, she talks about diet, but she talks about a lot deeper stuff than nutrition, which is why I loved having her on. And you'll even notice a lot in my work. I've already been moving in this direction away from explicitly about nutrition. Yeah, I still talk about it here and there, but a lot of my work has already been mindset and encouragement, inspiration, trauma, those kinds of things. I will tell you this change will not happen quickly. I do have quite a few interviews in the can and ones that are scheduled in the month of June. And so I won't just abruptly change when I come back in June. But I'm thinking probably June and maybe all of July, continue with my regular podcast schedule that I currently have. And then perhaps August is when I start something new. Still a work in progress. It's one reason I wanted to come on here live, kind of talk to you guys openly about this stuff, kind of get your thoughts. Saw you at Walgreens, says Kiki, was nervous to say, hey, Kiki, girl, you saw me at Walgreens. You should have said, are you Jimmy Moore? I've been like, oh, crap. Don't ever be nervous to say, hey, weirdo. I won't bite, I promise. Sharon says, good to see you. BDNF guy, is this Facebook related? No, this is across all the social media related. From YouTube to Instagram, Twitter, and yes, Facebook, all those places I get negativity all the time, and I don't deserve that. Sharon says, speaking of conferences, are you going to Austin? I assume you mean for KetoCon. That's in July. Yes, I still plan on going I'm only attending, but I am going to KetoCon in July. Yes. Dawn Marie says, live, woohoo, yes. Decided to go live, surprise you guys today. My Morozko Forge, as you can see, was kind of faltering. The filtration system stopped working. It had a leak in it. There are a lot of issues. And so the guy came to fix it today, and it never did get cold enough to make ice. It got down to like mid to upper 40s. So I did 20 minutes in there today, so was happy to be able to do that. Monique says, you're the best. Thank you. I am not discouraged about who I am as a person. I know who I am. I don't have to apologize for who I am, and I don't have to make excuses for who I am. I know who I am, and I'm happy with who I am, and I'm proud of this man that I am. Am I perfect? Hell no. Neither are you. Neither is that perfect influencer that you follow. None of us are perfect. I wish they would show more of their humanity like I do. I feel like I am extremely vulnerable very often, and I don't see vulnerability from most influencers. It's just not in them. It's not who they are. They don't want people to see anything less than this shiny object that they want you to see. I've never been interested in being the shiny object. I just want to be real, because it's at this point of reality where you connect with people and they want to be connected to you. Redeemed Carnivore, I've definitely been influenced by your knowledge. Thank you. I'm proud of the knowledge that I've been able to share, and sharing it from a relatable perspective. I think sometimes when we hear knowledge and it's from a medical doctor or someone with credentials of some sort, we almost gloss it over. Like, of course they know that. They're a medical professional. They're in the space. But when somebody that doesn't have that kind of pedigree educationally starts espousing things and says it in words that you understand, makes analogies that you really clearly understand the subject matter, I don't know, there's something a little more oomph about that information. And I've taken great pride in being that kind of translator. Look, I'm doing it with the ice bath topic right now. And I'm excited to get that book out there to you guys later this year, because it's going to be one of those things that I'm going to put my stamp on it. And people will love that. People will appreciate my perspective as a layperson doing this, and yet explaining the science in easy to understand language. Sharon says, the best is yet to come, always. There are so many skinny fat people, says give more love. Yes, they really are. They really are. Or skinny people who aren't letting on all the health things they're dealing with. At least in my case, you see the visibility of it, and you know that I'm working on it. In their case, you don't see the visibility of it. You don't know that they're working on it. And then who knows? Bulletproof says, you don't deserve any of this, but you're the role model for doing what you do despite it. Without you, who is there to stand up for not having the perfect body? I understand you need to do what's right for you. Bulletproof, thank you. I have definitely tried to live by example so that other people feel encouraged and not discouraged. But I'm tired of being that example, if I'm being honest. I'm tired of feeling like I have to sacrifice my own health, physical and mental, at the holy altar of, here's how you stand up to them. I've done that for 17, 18 years. And it's time to move on. Still doing work, still being online, still being involved in health, still freezing my butt off in ice baths, still talking about health, but shifting from diet into more like mindset and mental health, which is kind of what I've been doing the past few years anyway. I've sprinkled in the keto stuff and the carnivore stuff here and there, but it's not like I don't have the passion to still talk about diet. And it's not like I don't have the knowledge to be able to talk about that in interviews with different people. I had Dr. Stephen Gundry on recently, which will air when I come back in June, and very highly intellectual conversation. I can stand with those guys. I just can't stand having that criticism anymore because I don't deserve it. Society sees physical appearance, nothing else. It's a shame, but it does need to be discussed. Yeah, it does. It does. And I've tried to make that discussion a part of the conversation. And every one of those always ends in judgment. So no longer interested. Give more love. Thanks for the badge. Appreciate the support. And that's another thing. I've been doing podcasting since 2006. And the way I'm able to keep doing those podcasts is through sponsors. And I'm very selective about who I allow as an advertiser on my shows. And I've found that there is a lot more hesitation about sponsoring nowadays. And look, I've never wanted to have sponsors, but I do need to have something in return for all that effort of making all those podcasts. It would be great if I was made of money, some billionaire, and could just make content to, help the world. But I do this for a living. This is my job. And so outside of book sales, the next way I make money is through advertising on my podcast. Well, quite frankly, it's been kind of dry the last few years. The pandemic, obviously, that year I had none, and barely scratched by to survive. And then last year, a little better, came back a little bit, but not like it was in 2019. And then this year, again, it's been kind of dry. So I feel like I'm stuck trying to find diet sponsors, and I don't want that. I don't really care about that. And if I'm being honest, I would love to be supported by people that love my work and get something out of it. And so when I'm on here and you buy a badge, that helps me out. And it's those kinds of things that I'm having to think through as well. As I want to keep doing the work, but I kind of need to have something that tells me you want me to keep doing work. And I haven't seen that over the past few years. So that's another challenge and another little ripple into this discussion as well. Kiki says, why is it always about looks and not about your health? It's just wrong. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir now because I'm right there with you. But it is. The diet and even the greater health world does tend to look at your physical body and make judgments about you based on your physical body. They look at my body and go, ugh, repulsive, ugh, unhealthy. Never mind, I do more things for my health than probably most people you know. And yet that meme of I'm unhealthy because of the weight exists. And that's truly unfortunate. But that's something that's been there from the time I've been online. Makes me so sad you're going through this. People suck. You rock, Jimmy. Thank you, Dawn Marie. And look, I'm okay. If I was going to cower in fear about this, I would have done it a long time ago. But I think I've reached the point where my purpose in the diet world has been served. I put out some amazing books, 2 of the seminal books of the last decade between Keto Clarity and The Complete Guide to Fasting that have truly changed a lot of people's lives. And I will take great pride in that as part of my overall legacy of my life. I will never have, nobody can ever take those things away from me, that those books helped. And of course, Cholesterol Clarity, all the other books that I've done have all been a help. I will never regret being involved in the diet world. But my purpose here has served its good use, and it's time to take my talents and services to a community that will appreciate it. Ice baths appreciate what I'm doing right now. Childhood trauma and mindset community appreciate what I'm doing right now. And it's all I've ever wanted. Show me love, show me appreciation, and I have motivation to keep going. That's it. That's it. Lori says, you're not alone. Thank you for that. I wish I could give you a hug. Says, give more love. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely love hugs, but I'm okay. Thank you. And a lot of you have expressed concerns, and I've had private messages and text messages from friends going, are you okay? And I'm like, I've just had time to contemplate and think. And what I've been thinking about has been something that's really been on my heart for years. I've just denied the obvious. I've thought, okay, of course I'm going to stay in the diet health space. That's where I am. That's where I belong. But now I'm asking the question, is it? Is it where I belong? Is it where I can do the most good? I feel like I've done the kind of good that I can do in this space. Here, I'm going to summarize what you should do with your nutrition. Okay, you ready? You ready? Here it is. This is 17 years of experience distilled into one little statement. If you want to be healthy in your diet, eat real food and not too many carbs. That's it. I just gave you the last 17 years of my life in a nutshell what the message has been. That's it. How many other ways do I need to say that? Keto's about health, says Gabby. It's therapy for many problems, depression, for instance. Yes, you're right. It is. As are a lot of biohacks and other things that help with mental health too. But you're right, Gabby. Nancy said, God looks at the heart, not the outward appearance. Yes, God does, but unfortunately, that's not everybody. And again, I have stuck into this community for a very long time, feeling like I had a valid voice to share. And at every point, I felt invalidated, disrespected. And I never understood why, beyond how I look. This is tough, because so much of my identity, especially the last 2 decades, has been in the diet world. And now I'm coming to the realization that my identity should be Jimmy, not keto. And when you come to those kinds of terms mentally, I think it's for the good. I think when you finally realize it's about you, and it has been about you all along, not your identity with something, you'll be more stable. Mama Orr says, you know what cracks me up? We're in this because we don't have perfect bodies and we need help. Wouldn't someone who knows how we feel be better to help us? Yeah. And that's why I've stuck around so long, Mama Orrs. I feel like I have been the everyman to be the encouragement that you don't give up. Because one thing, you could say a lot of things about Jimmy Moore, but you cannot call me a quitter. I have stayed a student of my body and my metabolism for a very long time. And I have tried so many things. And I know the things that I've tried, even though they have not produced the fat loss that I want to have, I know they have kept me vibrant in my health, vibrant in my brain health, vibrant in my mood. Lots of intangible things about health. And everybody's like, well, if you keep focusing on the health and getting healthy, then eventually the fat loss will come. Well, I'm at that impasse where I am doing all these great things and I am pushing my body to limits that most people don't. And I have not experienced the fat loss. And I'm not discouraged. I just keep going. Because what's the alternative? Go back to eating a sad diet and die faster? That's not interesting to me. So if I do this for the rest of my life and the fat loss never comes, at least the things I'm doing are going to keep me in as good a health as I possibly can be. And that's what I hold on to. I see my friend Dr. Ben Bickman's here. Attaboy, Jimmy. Thank you for the encouragement, my friend. Speaking of somebody who does a lot of work in the metabolic health research realm, Dr. Bickman is a stud when it comes to that stuff. And you've been an encouragement to me, Ben, without knowing it. Your work and the kinds of things that you share when it comes to metabolism, it always intrigues me what you share. And so keep sharing. You're one of the good guys out there that's truly trying to help people from a scientific perspective. Really appreciate that. We're with you on all social platforms. Thank you, Lori. Rousey said, glad you did this live. I wasn't expecting you back until June. Yeah, this has been weighing heavy on my heart, this topic of where I go next. And I know this is an ice bath video, and so those of you still watching after the ice bath has been long over, thank you for hanging around, but I needed to get this off my chest because this has been bothering me. Linda says, I'm so sorry it's come to this, but you are right. Enough is enough. You will be incredible no matter where you go. Thank you. Nobody's perfect. They like to hide that. It doesn't sell. You're right, Lori. Have you talked with Keto Stephanie? Actually, Stephanie Person and I actually did have a wonderful conversation about a month and a half ago. She called me on the phone and she had moved to Texas and she was just like, I'm in a new town. Let's jibber jabber. Let's talk. So, yeah, she's been a great friend of mine for many years. And she too has been watching from afar, seeing my inability to lose body fat. And look, my problem isn't knowledge about this stuff. I probably know it backwards and forwards better than most people. My problem is it's the manifestation of how it actually turns out, because I do all the things that are supposed to be fat burning modalities. And yet it's not producing fat loss. And so I don't want that to be my life forever. I feel like I've spent the last 2 decades of my life people trying to help me lose that belly fat. That's been the last 2 decades of my life. And I'm just tired of, I don't want my life to be this pursuit of something that may or may not happen. That's not interesting to me. Do I know that belly fat is harmful if it stays there? Absolutely, I know that. Duh. Which is why I do all the things. Which is why I stay engaged. Which is why I don't give up. And I haven't. I'm still here. Still doing the things. Still trying new things. And I will continue to try new things. Giving up is not one of those things I will ever try. Carnivore Diva, amen. You're always working on your health, supporting others. Thank you. That has been my calling card. Just never give up on yourself. I've healed my liver and lowered my A1C, says Tammy, thanks to your books. That's awesome. That is so cool. MK says, Jimmy, maybe by moving on from this community, you'll shed the stress, which will help you reach these other goals. That's exactly right. You're picking up what I'm laying down here. That I feel like I have allowed this stress to come on and the scrutiny to come on because of how I look. And I speak so boldly and openly and prolifically. Like, look, I do so much content that people will interact with that content, go, ugh, why am I taking advice from this guy? I can't tell you how many interviews I've done that they show up on YouTube, and it happened recently, where I do an interview with somebody and I'm on video and they're like, he seems like a nice guy and all, and I'm sure the information he's sharing is spectacular, but I can't trust him. I can't believe anything he has to say because look at him. And it's like, is the information less valid because of how the deliverer of that information looks? Like, do you know how asinine that sounds? That the veracity of information has to be predicated on vanity? It's the society we live in, I guess. Stress is a biggie. It is. It is. Focus on something else now. That is the plan. AYNURDANE. That is my definite plan. And the something else is definitely going to be in the mindset world. Definitely going to be in the motivational world. I thought about, and this is just a punk, I'm not really doing this, but I thought about calling myself, changing my username from Living Low Carb Man to Gemspiration. I'm not doing that. That's hokey. But I do want to be an inspirer. I do want people to see my stuff and go, wow, I feel uplifted. I feel motivated. I feel encouraged. That's been my heart in my work with the diet stuff anyway. So it wouldn't be a hard move to go into that realm. And to talk about that kind of thing. I also had an idea. I ran this by my best friend Brittany earlier today. She really liked it. Of the brand being something like Mind Matters. So it would be mind matters. Things of the mind matter. They matter. But also mind matters. Meaning I'm going to talk about all things related to your mind, your mindset, your mental health, all that. Mind matters and mind matters. So a little play on words. And plus it's easy to remember. Mind matters. And then of course I want my name to be in there because I do feel like my name is a brand that people trust. And you guys that already follow me at Living Low Carb Man on Instagram, it won't change for you because I'll make the change and I'll just keep the same followers. Because I thought about starting fresh because Instagram has something on my account that makes me bleed followers. So if I thought about I should maybe start something brand spanking new, but I'm like, I'm not giving up 21,000 followers. That would be crazy. So I'm still in the process of all of this, kind of thinking this through. You should become a mental health coach. Yeah, I'm not trained in mental health, so I definitely would not try to... I definitely would not charge people money to give mental health advice. That's not my role. But I am happy to be a podcaster in that realm with the One Step Deeper podcast and my One Step Deeper journal. If you haven't gone and gotten it yet, it's available on Amazon, onestepdeeperjournal.com if you want to go get you a copy. That's more my heart now. It's what I want to do. Rousey likes Mind Matters. Thank you. Mind Matters More. Oh, I like that. Mind Matters More. Or more, M-O-O-R-E, Mind Matters. See, I'm still mulling it over, so thank you for that. Yes. Yes. All right, guys, I've gone an hour and a half. Most of these ice bath videos are about 20 minutes. So thank you to everyone who has stuck around. If you're watching this on the replay, appreciate you letting me share my heart today. And yes, I was happy to go live. Really happy I got to see all of you guys. I do miss you while I've been gone. It's been great to be gone because it's turned on a lot of the mindset things that I've been thinking about and the things I shared today. And so thank you for letting me articulate that live with you guys here today. Thank you, the Light Jedi. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate that. Mind Matters More, M-O-O-R-E, would be awesome, says Linda. So, but yeah, as always, if you're watching this on the replay on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or even here on Instagram, go follow me over on Instagram And I would love to have you join me when I do come on live. So you never know when I'm going to come on live. That's why you need to go follow me on Instagram at Living Low Carb Man. For now, at Living Low Carb Man. It might change to Mind Matters More. I like that. That's good. Mind Matters More. Mind Matters. I'm liking that a lot. I need to really mull that over. I'm going to call Brittany when I hang up because that's really good. So go follow me over there. Would love to have you. I do go live at 5 p.m. Eastern when I am live for my ice bath videos, Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. So come join me. I will be back tomorrow, probably on video tomorrow. But thank you guys for letting me surprise you here today. Rousey says, you've always been so honest about everything. I try to be authentic and honest and open with everything that I share on my account. And so thank you guys for letting me be vulnerable and open about my feelings about the diet world and why I can no longer be a part of that. So, all right, let me get out of here for now. I got to go pee. So I've been holding it for a very long time. So I'm going to get out of here so I won't start crying from holding that. So follow you where? Follow me here on Instagram at Living Low Carb Man. You already are. I go by faith. You're already following me. All right, let me get out of here, you guys. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you. There's that bruise. Urgh. She did a number on me with that deep tissue massage, which turned to bruises. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Bye. Mwah.